Hi everyone, welcome back to part 2 of the sword tech video. If you haven't seen part 1, I would recommend you go check that. It's in the description or on my channel. And yeah, so I'm going to be covering impossible stabs, different Pong techniques, and some more other advanced sword techniques. So yeah, enjoy the video. Okay, so the next more advanced thing I'm going to talk about, this one's not super useful, but it's pretty cool. I call it alternate sword stabs. So you know how if you were to press crouch and then go back, there are all these different stabs. There's like 4 different stabs you can get, like the ones I showed earlier. And so there's actually an entirely different set of stabs that you can get. And so there's 2 different ways to get these stabs. One of them is to swing your sword, and while your sword is swinging, then you want to do a stab. So like you get like this one, which is, I think, slightly higher, or that just might be a normal stab, but you get something like this, which is not quite a vertical stab, but there's like an entirely different set, something like that, that's different. Okay, so the other way you can do it is if you do these flutter stabs. So whenever you flutter, if you notice when I swing, my blade goes underneath me. And so right after I swing, if I do a crouch and then a normal stab, like something like that, that will also give me an alternate stab, although I think that's just a normal one. And if I do this fast enough and with the right timing, then I can get what's I call a fake impossible stab, which impossible stabs I'll talk about in a few minutes. But they're cool, they're downwards diagonal stabs. But it's kind of hard to get. Sometimes you can get it a lot consistently. For some reason I find it super easy to get in the lobby. I don't know if the different physics matters at all. But it's easier on platforms and stuff because the sword might hit the bottom. Specific stab is easier in my room or whatever, I don't know why. Here I got it first try. But it's definitely possible online. I had some trouble getting it on certain custom maps, and I have zero idea why. But maybe it's just weird like that. So what you want to do is you want to flutter and attack, and then after you do that, you want to do an immediately crouch and do a pogo. So I'm basically just pressing, when I'm fluttering, I'm just pressing attack immediately, and then right before the second one, I'm pressing crouch and back to get a normal stab, and that creates this downwards diagonal stab. That's pretty cool. It's like a lawnmower, and it's pretty consistent, especially in the lobby. I don't know why. I have zero idea why, and I've had a lot of trouble with this before, but it's pretty consistent. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to talk about is downstabs. And downstabs are pretty similar to just a normal upstab, just like this, except it's pointed down. So it's really easy because you can just do them on platforms. So normally what you want to do is just do a pogo, and then once you're in a pogo, you just want to press back and shoot at the same time. So I just got 2 of them right there, just like that. And unfortunately, because it is pointing down, they will disappear once they hit the floor. So it's easier if you do them on a platform, because then they won't disappear. But yeah, all you need to do is press down and then press backwards and shoot at the same time, just like that. And yeah. Okay, so the last type of stab I'm going to talk about it's called the impossible stab. And there's 4 different versions of it, and then each one is, in my opinion, harder than the next one, or easier than the next one, whichever direction you go. But it's all sorts of diagonal down stabs, and they're pretty cool if you're able to get them. I would say, in my opinion, 2 of them are pretty consistent. One of them is slightly harder, but it's also can be the same level of consistency. That's completely based on your timing. and then the last one I've only ever gotten once by accident. And I remembered like kind of what I did, but I have not been able to replicate it, and I've not seen anyone else been able to replicate it. So I'm pretty sure you are able to do it on platforms. So what you need to do is like stick your sword down through the platform by just doing a pogo, and then press back and shoot, and press it twice, and press shoot twice. It's like sort of like this, and I'm pretty sure I have gotten it this way, but I don't think it's very consistent. And I'm not sure if I can replicate it right now, but I'm pretty sure it is possible, because I'm like 100% sure I have gotten this before. But I don't know how like replicable it is. But it just requires you to press shoot twice. And now, in my opinion, the more consistent way is just like the fundamental theory behind them. So how they work is if you do a pogo, and then you uncrouch and then immediately recrouch, and some methods require you to recrouch later, but let's say I uncrouch and then I recrouch, and then I try to do a stab, then I'll get all these. You see if I go in slow motion. I get all these different types of angles, like all these types of down angles. And so what you can do is if you just like pogo, uncrouch, recrouch, and then immediately do a stab, you can get, depending on what your stab timing is, you can get something like that, where it's a downwards angle, like downwards diagonal, like some of them are closer to the floor. So like this one is the one I get like probably some of the most. The second steepest, I would say. And then using this specific method, you can get another one that's almost identical to a down angle like this, or a down stab like that. You just have to be careful because you want to do them on like sort of thinner platforms like this, because if they touch the floor, then they'll just, or if you're on the floor, then they'll just like disappear because they hit the block. So for the next one that's slightly shallower, what you want to do is you want to wait a little bit later, because before, when you're uncrouching and recrouching, if you had trouble getting that specific angle before, you need to do it much faster. So if you see, I generally uncrouch and recrouch very fast, and like right after I pogo, I press uncrouch, recrouch. And so if you want to get the other stab, you want to delay your uncrouch, recrouch, and you see during this frame, when my sword was like up at an angle behind me, once you get that, then you know you can get the other stab. So you can do this by either moving forward, so you see your sword is behind an angle, or you can just wait a little bit longer. And then what you want to do is this method, you'll either just get a straight down stab, or you'll just get like the actual impossible stab. But if you do this like while moving, maybe it kind of helps you time it better. But it's a little difficult to get. The main thing is you just need to get your timing down, and once you get the timing down, then it's much easier. And I just find that the difference is I press shoot for the first one much faster. I think in this one you're supposed to delay whenever you press shoot. Yeah, so it just looks something like this, where it's much shallower, and you're able to walk on the ground with it. And you can see it's different than the other stab I had in the lobby, because it's slightly shorter because my hand is moved up more towards my beak. Whereas the other one, it's more like a lawnmower, it's closer to the ground. And so the last stab is higher than this still. It's more shallow, and I've only gotten it once, and I got it on a wall climb, because you can also do the stab if you're wall climbing, and then you just like that actually. Wow, okay. And you just do, I think you have to uncrouch, recrouch. I have to look at the footage, and then I can slow it down for you. But I'm pretty sure I got it using this method while I was wall climbing. So in terms of use cases for the impossible stab, it's not really like useful, aside from the fact that what you can do, what I like to do with it, is just get like the impossible stab, and then like go up a high place, and then jump off and try to kill someone with it, because I think you have a slight advantage because the stab is pointed downwards. So unless they're like doing this with their stab, you have a really like good chance to kill them, and you also gain a lot of swag doing it. So it's pretty worth it. And also, just a little side note, it does work on both sides. I mean, of course, you can just turn around, but it should work on both sides. I don't see why it wouldn't. And personally, my muscle memory is only really for one side, is only facing right. But there's no reason why it shouldn't work on both sides. It's not like it's not like this stab, the upward stab. So yeah. Okay, so there's another cool tech. It's not super useful, and I don't know when this would ever be used. It's probably, if ever, going to be used against newer players who don't know sword stabs. So people who haven't watched this video. But if a duck is just swinging down like this, just like you would without a sword stab, so like not like that. But if they're swinging down like this, what you can do is strafe pogo over them backwards. So look something like that. And I can show what it does right now. But anyways, I'm not sure if it works in like a greater than 2-block high area, because I think you need to be either coming down from the pogo. It does work, it 100% works in too high area, especially because you're able to just like bonk yourself with the pogo. You can just like limit where you're going, or limit how high you're going, and then as you come down on the sword, it might have something to do with this type of physics. Like you can bump people like that with a pogo, like just something like that. I think that's how I gain so much speed, but other than that, I really don't know how it works. So I just want to share one more sword tech that I don't think anyone knows about, because I found this by accident. So here, I was able to sword climb off a thrown sword, which was really funny to me, because I had no idea this could happen. But I don't know how like repeatable this is, because it happened by accident. And so the last thing I wanted to talk about is Pong. And how this works is if you have a quad laser bullet that you shoot. One player Pong, I guess. I won, and I lost at the same time. Anyways, I'm too good for this. So if you have a quad laser bullet that you shoot, this is like a tradition in ducking. And if you don't know this, then you better learn it, because there's on one map, we have our tradition of Pong. Don't worry about my texture pack, it's recoloring the quad laser, but that is still a quad laser. And so what you want to do is just when you fire the quad laser bullet, hitting it with a sword will reflect it. And so it will speed up. It will speed up like almost, not infinitely, it reaches a cap, but it just makes it hard to like, it's just a very skilled game. But I can reveal a few hidden tricks. So if someone serves low, just like that, you can actually like completely counter the entire thing by just like holding down your sword, and that will reflect the bullet, which allows for you to keep up in more high-speed Pong gameplay. And so one thing you can do is move back and forth and stuff, and it's hard to play like with two people as one. I'm not Tanagram, you know, I'm not that good. But you can get very fast. If you serve like this, there really is no like cheesing it, as you could say. This is just pure reaction time. I mean, the other way is too, but it's more like who has a better keyboard. So as you might have guessed by not using stabs, stabs don't actually work to reflect the bullet. The only thing that does work is once you if you release your stab, then it will reflect the quad laser bullet. Something some people do is angle the quad laser bullet, and then if you hit it again, it will realign its path. So something that a lot of people don't know is that when for the quad laser bullet, when you swing your sword, you can let it pass through you. So if you spam your sword a bunch and walk through it, then you can like get on the other side of it, and you can also, in terms of Pong, you can just speed it up a ton, and so people won't expect it. Okay, so that's going to be all the tech I'm going to talk about in this video. And yeah, if you have any questions, please leave a comment down below, or any suggestions for something you'd like to see. And also, please share this video with anyone who might be interested. I'm probably going to record Portal clips next, and then I just wanted to do the sword tech video first to help some people out. And then, yeah, Portal tech, and then I'll probably do some more item tech and stuff. Or maybe I'll do Ragdoll tech next, which will be a big video, because there's a ton of stuff to do for Ragdolls. Keep on duck gaming. Peace.